Welcome back to the Desert Rats Racing League. Today we are in session 4 with our first race of the session being at Mosport, Canada. We have newcomer Zingy leading the field of the pack, followed by another newcomer Chris. Returning members Shift Finesse and Shift Darius are leading out 3rd and 4th, followed by John in 5th place, 6th place being Captain, 7th being Get Me 240s returning from Season 0. 8th place being the host himself, Raccoon, and in the back we have Shift Rat Viper. Let's go ahead and hand it over to the broadcaster's box and get started on this race today.
Oh, what a great day to be racing in Mosport, Canada. It's drop the clutch and go, 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 firing off the line with a tremendous launch goes Zingy and getting the whole shot into turn 1. It looks to be plenty of fighting happening behind as they will head south down towards turn 2, Clayton corner, and it looks like it's Finesse who's got ahead of Chrisworth. Darius though chasing hard, and they're side by side as they approach the Quebec corner, and it looks like Finesse is going to claim it. Darius right on there, and for a moment they were exactly tied for position, Chrisworth and Darius. Zingy though away very nicely indeed. We've got Chrisworth and John now paying a watching brief in the red tail white nosed Mini. A little bit of contact. Rubbing's racing in this single spec road car run, but that's beyond rubbing. That's car 60 spun around. That's Chrisworth down into P9 and right at the very back of the race. That promotes, of course, Captain Ahab, Raccoon, Rat Viper and Get Me 240s, but Zingy leads, but with a small margin at this early stage ahead of Finesse, Darius and John. Captain Ahab on screen right now and trying to get those tyres working, get them into a good window as they head into in towards the S's, and then it'll be into the final corner, White's corner, turn 10. Just a small racetrack, of course, here at Mosport, but is no less challenging for that as they cross the line to start lap 2. Zingy leads Finesse by just over 1 second over the newly resurfaced section of that turn 1. Change of grip quota as well, and again they hit into some new surfacing into Clayton. They will have to just be conscious of that. Finesse then trying to catch. He's got Darius not far behind in the blue with white stripes, and then we look to see back in this John and Captain Ahab biting incredibly hard. The lime green body of Captain Ahab certainly trying to make some threat in the mirrors. What news of Raccoon? Well, he's up from a uncharacteristically low qualifying position. Raccoon in P6 right now, some 6 seconds away from the lead of the race. That's quite a long way back at this very early stage, but getting a little bit squirrely with the Union flag on the roof there of the British Racing green car. It looks to be, I think that's Rat Viper right at the very back, but Darius tucked right up underneath the rear of the red and black racer Finesse just ahead as they will go wheel to wheel and toe to toe on the way through and in towards finishing out this second lap. Of course, a very quick race we've got in store for you here, as the drivers make sure that they don't challenge their minis too far and cause too much in the way of wear. Lap 3 begins. Zingy ahead of Finesse, who is just ahead of Darius, but Finesse goes very wide. Might end up picking up a penalty on the exit of turn 1 there as they head down into Clayton. He's recovered the car, looks to be okay in terms of penalty, but Darius is hot on his heel. Having a look into the right hand side mirror, looking for that inside line through Quebec corners. Quite a long corner, quite early apex, and then we join him on the hood underneath the Chevrolet overpass over the crest, and we're looking for that apex in towards turn 4 and to the Moss complex. Love a corner section called Moss as a Brit here, and Darius with a nice little inside maneuver through the Moss complex, and then they get to go full throttle then back uphill towards down the Mario Andretti straight away and in towards the S's. Once again, it's going to be quite a fast entry into the S's. You've got it on the driver point of view here. And we look forward to seeing how the drivers handle this one. That's late on the brakes from Darius, who is caught a little bit unawares. First time I think he's entered the corner of the S's and in towards whites without a car directly in front as a reference point to read the situation. In front of him, Zingy leads at the start lap 4, as he has done from the pole position by 2.7 seconds now ahead of Finesse, Captain Ahab, John, Raccoon, Get Me 240s, Chrisworth and Rat Viper at the very back of the grid. This is on board the very front of John Alsona's car, and we head in towards Clayton once again, chasing down Captain Ahab. Got the podium still within sight here. There's a lot to read for the race for John. I'm sure he's biding his time. Very good on the tyres, John. That's Chrisworth there with the white body, blue roof. And right at the back, there's Rat Viper racing in the tremendous British colours. Get Me 240's favourite music genre here on the screen, and he does like a Ferrari F12 Berlinetta. It's quite a step down the Mini Cooper series. I'm sure though, single spec racing, we do love a bit of single spec racing here on the channel, and of course the Desert Rats Racing League. Zingy though ahead now just by 2.3 seconds, a further second back from Darius. In second place is Finesse, and Captain Ahab and John continue to be locked as I think one of the closest battles on the grid at the moment. Here is Darius though, Grindwork his main sponsor, as they run through. There is John, look, as they start lap 5. The leader starts lap 5 anyway. Raccoon picking up the pace. That was a 1:27.4 for him, faster than the leader, in fact, and only John faster than Raccoon. So he is closing in the distance. There's a car wide in the background. That's Finesse, unfortunately, just running out of room on the Clayton turn. A long corner and a long way off the racing line, and certainly wide. That allows Captain Ahab to pounce then. The pressure finally paying off here as the drivers race over the crest, and then it's a sharp left of turn 4 taken at near full throttle, then down, leaning on that front axle. The front splitter even dragging on the ground as they go through Moss, and our drone cam gets incredibly close to the action. This is your current championship standings as the race is running on this particular moment in history, but Zingy leads by just 1.7 seconds. Captain Ahab and Darius unlocking a little bit of pace now that they've managed to clear Finesse. Finesse though holding off John at this stage, and also Raccoon in 6th place. Get Me 240s is on 7th position. Chrisworth in 8th, and at the back of the grid we've got Rat Viper on P9 at the moment. Lap 6 begins. This is Darius. His gap to the leader Zingy 1.8 seconds now. It's flexing and shifting a little bit. Get Me 240s in the British Racing Green Mini catching Raccoon as well, and I wonder if that's going to halt Raccoon's progress towards the front of this grid now that he's got Get Me 240s directly behind him and pressurizing. But this is Finesse, P4, 28 flat was his last lap. That was the slowest on the circuit in the inside the top 8. Darius running on a 26.9. This Mosport Canada circuit certainly seems to have spread the field out quite a bit as the 00 of Darius navigates that tricky double right of Moss corner through turn 5. Now it's the Andretti straightaway. Certainly a great respecter of international motor racing legends here, the Mosport track naming, corner naming convention. Zingy's lead 1.5 seconds only. That is very close, and means that there's still a lot of pressure on his shoulders. John is just less than a second, I think, ahead of Raccoon, and the battle in the midfield really starting to hot up as we reach fever pitch now on this lap 6, start of lap 7 here of the 11. They pass underneath the Michelin banner, which covers the start-finish line, and it's looking good at the moment for Zingy, but he's never been in a particularly comfortable lead position throughout the course of this race. So good to see The Desert Rats Racing League lack of field spread as both Raccoon and Finesse run very, very wide. Raccoon now on the defensive as they approach Quebec turn 3. Get Me 240s is having to go the long way around the outside, and what an overtake. That was beautifully judged. Raccoon, of course, also not closing the door aggressively, recognizing that he had an issue. This is Raccoon's racing record as a really keen follower of the Mini Cooper, and that is two cars getting very close together. I've got a feeling that was both John and Finesse getting trading paint and swapping door handles for a moment, but at the moment there you've got Darius in second, Captain Ahab in third, and then this midfield battle, 4 cars separated by a single second. Here comes Get Me 240s for the move on Finesse as they run on the right-hander. The S's section, they'll head in towards turn 10 to finish the lap out. White's corner looks like Get Me 240s has a good run here. He's got to continually try and find a different racing line through the corners. At the moment, Finesse is holding him off, but it feels like it's only a matter of time, and it's now costing him exactly that as they stay both on the curb just about, but Finesse running very wide. I think the tyres really starting to give up now at this late stage, and we're almost bumper to bumper there through a very difficult turn 2 as the Mini Challenge Cup cars come on through. Now turn 3 of Quebec corner, it's lap 8 of the 11, time running out to claim a place on the podium for this mid-pack grid at the moment. And then you've got you can see Get Me 240s trying to make the move. It's costing him time. Raccoon possibly looking for an opportunity into Moss corner, but he hasn't been strong there so far during the race. Get Me 240s hanging on. He's in a difficult position, having to play offense and defense at the same time. Here is Darius then. Unfortunately for our battle for the lead seems to have faded as he's spending time now looking in his mirrors, heading into the S's. We go, having got out of the Mario Andretti straight away. Here comes the dive. Here comes the move potentially down into the right-hander from Get Me 240s. Finesse just leaving enough room at the apex. And there you can see Raccoon, characteristically the back end sliding, a full-on four-wheel drift going on. And he is pushing incredibly hard. Every driver here wanting that shot at the podium and the glory and a taste of the champagne, unless it's Moosehead beer here in Canada. But you've got Captain Ahab gunning now for second position, looking for that chance into the next corner. At the moment, Darius holding firm in the middle of the track. We're into lap 9 of the 11 underneath the Chevrolet overpass as we head through turn 4, taking an absolute flat chat before then braking very heavily and trying to pitch the car into the double right-hander of the Moss complex. A little puff of smoke coming off the back of Darius's car, but at the moment you've got Ahab right knocking on the door of a potential second place. This allowing Zingy to get away, but he's not all the way in the clear. John in fourth position with Finesse. Get Me 240 still banging hard on the rear of Finesse and asking for that chance to get through. Raccoon has dropped behind Grisworth now, so obviously an off-track moment for Raccoon. Rat Viper still pushing hard at the tail of the grid. Little bit of a pace differentials. Problems with the car setup today here in Mosport. It's setup definitely not favouring Rat Viper, but he will try and pick up points if there is any further issues for his rivals up ahead. This is Captain Ahab versus Darius on the penultimate lap as they head into Clayton, and a good old switchback going. They almost touch. I couldn't quite tell from my angle whether they actually did touch, but Captain Ahab potentially with a good run in towards Quebec corner. At the moment, Darius, the season 0 runner-up, racing from home here, loves driving his Mazda Speed 3 as well. His daily at home. That's a nice car to enjoy. As you've then got Captain Ahab still trying incredibly hard. Grisworth has recaught this battle. He's clearly been Very, very persistent here, and it's paying off. At the moment though, Get Me 240s ahead of Finesse in 5th place. John kind of on his own in no man's land at the moment in 4th position. This back to Get Me 240s as the leader is going to be about to start his final lap of the race. Captain Ahab, but that looks like it's Darius. Loss of control from 2nd position. Was it a loss of control? Was he pushed or did he jump? Let's see as we go for the right-hander. That has all the hallmarks of a mechanical failure at the door of Darius. That's going to be really huge, and no damage, just cosmetic damage only, I think, for the fighter. But there, John taking 3rd place then as a result of Darius's off-track excursion. Look at the damage on his Mini Cooper. That's going to need a complete redesign when he gets back in. Zingy's debut, Desert Rats, leading every lap so far. Driver of the day is the question on your screen. Get your votes in now, but Zingy, 3.3 seconds. My personal opinion is I tend not to give the winner of the race driver of the day. I feel like they've probably got enough in the way of prizes on from the day's racing, but you guys leave your comments and descriptions and suggestions for driver of the day performance. Captain Ahab leads this battle for 2nd place. John, as I said before, on his own, but Get Me 240 is still very much on the threat here of losing his 4th place from Chrisworth. What a resurgence from Chrisworth. I think that would probably be my vote for driver of the day at the moment. Finesse in 6th, Darius in 7th, Raccoon in 8th, Rat Viper in 9th, and our leader comes towards the S's then for the final time of asking. I think it's going to be, he's just got 2 corners to navigate. As we cut straight back to him, here he comes then through White's corner, turn 10, gets on the power, looks up for his team who will be on the pit wall, and it's the win for Zingy. A tremendous win on debut here at Mosport Canada, a day he will absolutely live in his memory. Captain Ahab 2nd, John in 3rd, Get Me 240s, Chris with Finesse, Raccoon, Darius, and Rat Viper rounding out our tremendous race. See you next time, folks.